What's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. And we have a couple of great people with us. This is going to be another edition of the East Coast, West Coast Smackdown because Aaron Wittenstein, the mighty bald one, is here. Gene Volpe has joined us as he always does on Friday, and so he is customarily here. But we are going to talk a little bit about getting psyched for lead generation. We're going to talk a little objection handling. We might talk a little tech and social media. We'll see where it goes. These episodes are, if this episode was a category of Jeopardy, it would be called potpourri. Gentlemen, first of all, welcome. Greg McDaniel, the junior grandmaster himself. Welcome, first of all, to you. What's up today?
What's up, man? I'm blessed to be back. I have three of my most favorite human beings on earth on the show today. Massive shit talking behind the scenes, so much fun. Aaron, the baldest of the bald, Wittenstein, he could not figure out what name he wanted to give himself, and there were several very juicy and hilarious selections that he decided to not go with. So I think it's a good move. But I got to tell a story. Okay. Earlier this week, one of our listeners kind of hit us up as kind of a group. You know, Jordan Ames, he listened to the REU show that I did with Gail Zantek and talked about one of the ideas that she had about taking bikes and then donating them and everything else. Well, not only did he do that, he got like 36 new bikes for Toys and Tots, and he took that and he put it into action. So, dude, Jordan, knuckles to you, homie, if you ever see this. Super awesome that you took that idea and you went into action on it. And that's just like the REU tribe just going to work and working together. So super encouraging to see how that happened. So,
love it.
So for the rest of you guys, get your ass in gear and do something. Jordan, you did a good job. Gold star for you. Oh, man. But dude, we got so much to talk about today.
I know. There's a lot. So first of all, Aaron, how are you today?
I am so great because I get to hang out with you three guys. And it's been a while, right?
Mm-hmm. It has been a while. I think I don't know that it's been, were you not on the show for like 6 months? It's been a long time.
Maybe longer than that.
I think it might have been. Yeah, you went into a deep, dark hole of prospecting and lead generation or something. You didn't pull yourself out. Like you were deep in the throes.
I'm like deep in, yeah, and then you commented on my beard and my goatee and how much you liked it. And that just brought us all back.
It did.
It's like we've never been apart.
We left off. Exactly. It's like we've never been apart. And then Gene Volpe, the evil bald ninja, the Volpenator himself. What's up today?
Yo, what's up, boys? I'm happy to be back with my East Coast buddy from a little up north, Mr. Wittenstein.
That's right.
Hi.
That's right. You're natural enemies normally, but natural allies in this particular situation.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start here. First of all, there's Aaron, anything that you've noticed, because you've been running the lead gen scripts and objections group now for God knows how long. What is it? Are we coming up on 4 years that you've been running that?
I lost count after 6 months.
I believe you.
I don't even remember anymore. I don't even remember.
So you've been doing something fun and interesting where you basically hop on with people in the group, right? And they make calls and you coach them.
Yes, it's been pretty cool. Yes. I came up with the idea one time when I was just thinking, because that's when you come up with your best ideas.
So you're in the bathtub. Got it. Got it.
Pretty much. I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. And I'm like, this would be really, really cool. And I just did our first one. We got something like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views on it. And I've only done 6 of them so far. But the responses have been absolutely amazing. It's so much fun. Like, it's so much more fun to listen to someone else call rather than do it yourself and give people the help. It's a blast. Like I got told the other day.
You're helping in between call. You're not feeding them lines on the call, right? You're just are you coaching. You feed them lines.
I feed them lines when they're on the phone call. It's like one of those things like when you're on a date with a woman that's way above your league and you got that guy in your ear that is just like babbling, pickup line. I don't, so it's the other day.
By the way, you're welcome for your marriage, Aaron. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Acknowledging the role that I played. I got it. I appreciate that.
I love you. Yeah. So it's been cool. You can log on randomly onto the Facebook group, and I don't really have a rhyme or reason when I do them. I do them when I feel like it.
Okay. Very cool.
Well, good thing
so I feel like that's one of the cool things about technology is like it used to be the only way you could do that was to work for some huge insurance company or something. Like I used to be able to do that when I trained back in corporate. You could essentially whisper in or whatever. You could be in someone's headset with them and feeding them lines while they're talking to somebody. And I remember sitting next to people and how effective that was to feed them that stuff live. and start to like build up the repetitions of them saying the right things. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I can see it's awesome that we can do that now virtually. We like used to just not exist.
Yeah, I have a waiting list now of 7 people.
Do you really?
It's a pretty serious waiting list.
Dude,
All right, that's awesome. So, Aaron, what do you do to just get yourself psyched up? You're a hardcore cold call prospect guy. This is, your entire business essentially is based on expireds and FSBOs to a lesser degree.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that and you're hitting a pretty hard market. Like you're outside of New York City. This is not these people are not throwing you softball responses. So, how do you kind of stay in the game? Let's start there.
I don't really have a choice. I mean, I guess you have a choice to do anything, but it's so ingrained in my skull right now that it's just something I do. I know that I come in, I go from 8 to 10, 8 to 11 every single morning. It's the time that I make my money. And it's like, even if you're not doing expires to sell by owners, I do a networking group every Friday, so that's a different form of lead generation that I do. I do that from 8 to 10, every Friday. You've got to do something. I don't give a shit what it is. It's just you've got to do something, because otherwise, if you're not regularly prospecting for business, you're not going to be able to get the money that you want. You could have referrals and everything dropped on your lap all day long. Like Gail, we're talking about Gail. I know her lead generation. She sends out cards to people, and she connects with people. So it's just a different form of lead gen, but she's focused on what she's doing.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, you can spend that time in a lot of different ways. But basically, you roll up in the morning, and you know exactly how long you're going to spend doing something that, you may not be your favorite thing in the world to do, but you know exactly what you're going to do. And you know exactly how long you're going to do it for.
I know how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it. I think I just repeated myself, but you get the point.
Yes.
The funny thing is that I've actually booked out 2 days out of my week that I spend an hour and a half in the mornings from 9 to 10:30. All I'm doing is stalking people on Instagram and Facebook. And I was really having a rough, because I'm doing my send out cards, and I have them. If you guys can see this, my little sticky note that's SOC. Then it has numbers on it. Like yesterday, I sucked. I only sent 1 out yesterday. Sent 2 already out this morning. I was doing that as I was coming onto the show. And I was like, how am I going to find more people to build a relationship with, right? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, you fucking retard. It gets delivered to you every morning. It's the people that have birthdays. Go send a birthday wish out card to every single person. Say, hey, let's get together and grab a cup of coffee when they live in the area. If they're a real estate agent outside of the area, remind them that you accept referrals for your neighborhoods. I'm having a phenomenal success with this so far. And it's just been about a week or 2 as of this recording that I've been doing this, and I'm getting people reaching out to me consistently, going, "Hey, got your card, absolutely amazing. Let's grab lunch." Okay, that sounds cool, and so it encourages me to continue to do that. Now, I also do the Beers and Calls show, which a lot of you guys see on the Monday through Thursday afternoons from 4:30 to 5:30. I use that as my hardcore outbound prospecting to put people into my send out card list, because when I have a good conversation with them, I write it down, then I send them a send out card. Hey, thanks so much for your time. I do a screenshot of their house, so it's really eye popping when they get it. It's not something that they just throw away. And blending those two together is outstanding. It's been probably the most effective I've seen in a long period of time.
How many beers do you have while you call?
1 very large one.
You should have 5. That'd be even better.
6 packs and calls.
I would tune in for the last 15 minutes for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, let's buy a house.
Well, that's when you flip the script and you start calling as the fellow realtor that you dislike the most.
This is Bob from Remax, your local real estate douche.
That's right.
How can I screw up your deal? You thinking of selling or thinking of buying?
I just wonder how much better he'd be drunk.
Yeah, fuck beer, dude. We'll just go straight for the hard shit, man. Just sit
right
there
here. This is what I drink while I lead gen at 8 o'clock in the morning.
You mean an empty bottle?
At 8 o'clock in the morning.
We need to.
Baby.
There's a letter I want to introduce you to, and it's doubled. AA. They're a great organization. They have a great 12-step program. They can walk you right through this issue.
Oh, all right. Let's provide some value here. I spotted a question that I want you guys to answer. All right, this is from Anastasia. It says, hey, guys, how about this double objection from someone I've been talking with a few months about listing their home? Here's the number 1 objection. I will hit you with it. Aaron, let's start with you. Aaron, we would love to use you, but my mother-in-law offered to list it for us at 4%, and we need to save money.
Great, go with your mother-in-law. All the best. It's not. That's not an objection. You're not beating that. It's just there's no possible way. Let me ask you something, Matt.
I can beat it.
Gene, are you married?
Yeah.
If your wife said my mother's going to list the property, do you have any say in that whatsoever?
No.
Exactly. It's not. That's a condition. It's not an objection.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I see that.
I don't know that I agree, but yeah.
I see that, but I'll raise you something.
Uh-oh.
They need to save money, right? So something that we do is we call it housing bucks. And I lost a listing earlier this year because I totally blanked on this whole thing that we have been doing for years. But, you know what? Fine. I have no problem doing it for 2% because I'll take a 0.5% hit to get the listing because I'll do 2 and 2, 2 for me, 2 for the buy side. Then I'll also say, you will need to save some money? Not a problem. You know what? Why don't I pay for your home warranty? Why don't I pay for your home inspection? And why don't I just pay for all your boxes as well? It's about a $2,000, sale savings. Would that help you save some money too? Is your mother-in-law going to do that? Because I know that I can go to usedboxes.com or usedmovingboxes.com. It's like $200, and you get them delivered with the tape, the markers, the boxes, everything delivered directly to their house. In our marketplace, the buyer pays for the home warranty anyways, and I'll pay for a home inspection for a couple $100 to get the deal. Oh, grandmama ain't going to fucking do that kind of good stuff, man. I'm telling you right now. And it looks sexier because they need to save money. I would hit on that saving money hard.
Yes, yeah, I like that. I don't think it's necessarily an objection. It might be for Aaron, but
what if you said, you're like, what? You're listening with your mother-in-law and she's charging you?
That's phenomenal.
That's a pretty good one, actually.
That is great.
That is
Listen,
awesome.
while we're doing that, while we're ragging on everybody's mother-in-law, Greg, pull up usedboxes.com. Take a look at that real quick while we're doing this.
Boxes.
No, usedboxes.com.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
And after that, I want you to order me a volleyball from Dix.com. Could you do that? A new basketball from Dix.com.
All right. Well, we're only on our podcast getting sued for sexual harassment. Okay. So here's the second part of the objection. First of all, I love that. Like, oh, really? She's charging you? Okay. So let's say you get through that one. Here's the second part of the double objection. We're thinking about going the FSBO route because we've had several friends who've had recent successful sales going about it this way. So they're really giving, like, this is one person getting both of these objections
I just feel
from
bad
the
for
same seller. I know. Well, here's my theory on it. There's clearly not enough trust being built because this is not even a real, like, they're throwing both of these objections at her. They have clearly not decided they even want to work with her yet. So they're throwing up all kinds of stuff. But set that aside. Let's just deal with the objection as if it was the only one. So how do you deal with that? Because you encounter this on a daily basis. I know that for sure.
Well, I mean, I think that like when you hit this objection, you're not going to convince them over the phone. Is that an iced coffee?
Of course.
It looks delicious. Sorry. I want a nice coffee.
Squirrel.
Seriously.
Hardcore on that one.
All right. So what I would say is I totally understand you want to give it a shot for sale by owner. I'd love to stop by, at least take a look at the property, kind of get a feel for it. Can I stop by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. And then from there, you stay in touch with them on a regular basis. If you meet them on a Monday, you say Monday, and then the following, and then the following, and the following. Because what I've found is that the first week that someone lists the property, they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this on my own. Stick it to the man. Fuck those real estate agents. Mm-hmm. The second week, they're like, it's okay. We're still going to stick it to them because we've done an open house. And we had 3 people through, and they're all interested. And the third week, they're like, well, wait a second. None of those 3 people bought it, but we're going to do another open house, and it may sell. By the 4th week, they're like, oh, man, this is a little rough. So by like the 4th, 5th week is when you wind up being able to get a better opportunity.
Yeah. That's really good.
So wait, let's go with what Matt was saying. I mean, what if those were 2 objections that went in totally different, like one was on this side, one was on the other, right? So like, what if you really did take that approach? Like, dude, if you didn't want to list it with me, you could have just said that, right? Like, you just basically lied to me.
Yeah, I would handle it like it just sounds like to me that I've done a terrible job of explaining what makes me different or better than other agents, and you clearly just don't see the value in working with me versus working with somebody else. So I haven't done my job very well. Is there So that's how I would handle that, is I would back up and just straight up tell them that and say, like, was there any questions that you had about the marketing plan that I would love to execute on your home that you just don't agree with, or you don't think adds that much value, or maybe there's something missing from my marketing plan that you're really excited about that you've heard one of your friends do that you think would work really well. Maybe it just wasn't in my marketing plan. And just kind of get them to tease that out, like go completely off the deep end. Like don't even deal with the mother-in-law, don't deal with the FSBO, just go right back to like the value part. It just doesn't seem like you see the value in working with me versus somebody else. Maybe there's something I missed and I'm not giving you what you want.
And to put on top of that, and this is really a question I think for Greg and Aaron too, is there's got to be some value in educating that seller, right? Which is like this. If you're worried about saving 2%, you're not seeing the big picture. And if you're worried about the FSBO piece of it, you're not seeing the big picture. So why don't we break down what a sale at the right price with me and 6% would be versus what you actually think is going to happen if you go FSBO. So in other words, it's 2% more, but I'm probably going to be able to sell your property for 6% more than you will while it's on the market. So why don't we sit down and run through a couple numbers real quick and kind of let me show you what it looks like, because you think you're saving money, but you're actually costing yourself money. So I think there's a value in the education there too. Do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, and to me that's handling as a consultant would handle it, not taking it personally. It's not anything personal they're saying. It's just, I just haven't done my job well enough of explaining kind of my approach to selling homes. Aaron, go ahead.
There's a very simple line that I started using, because when you say, like, Gene, so do you think, let's say, how do I put this, is, Gene, let's say that I could get you 6% more for the sale of your property. Would you sit down and talk with us? They're going to be like, oh, how can you possibly do that? The reality of it is I probably can't, especially if you're priced well. And if you're overpriced, I can't get you more than what you want. So they're hearing this from 35 different realtors. All right, everybody's saying, could you do in the quickest amount of time for the most of my money, blah, 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 blah. The one line that's been working for me really well is, Gene, let me ask you a question. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you wanted X, and I charged Y, and we're able to get you X plus Y. Wouldn't there be value in sitting down and having a conversation?
Of course.
So what I found with that line, because what I started using a lot lately is I started using X, Y, Z, DBCA, whatever, is it kind of takes the money out of it. It generalizes the entire statement of it, and it brings it to more of a business mindset. And it's been working really well for me. I started using that line probably about a week and a half ago.
All right, so run us through the line again.
Okay, so Matt, you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Okay, let's say you want X, and I charged you Y, and I was able to sell your home for X plus Y. Okay. Would you sit down and have a conversation with me?
Sure. I mean, I don't really know how you would do that or how you'd promise it, but yeah, I'd definitely be open to a conversation, I guess.
Why don't I just stop by, take a look at the property? If we want to talk numbers, we can go from there.
Yeah, fair point. Okay. That's not bad.
But I've been getting a good response from it.
Really? I would have never guessed.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, you literally said X and Y. People don't know algebra. So the idea that you could bring an X and a Y into the equation and actually use that on a script on the phone and it would work mystifies me. But hey, that's why we hit the phones. That's why they play the games, as they say.
Yes, sir. Greg, what do you think?
I think we
smarter
need
than
to.
All of us.
Well, I'll accept your compliment. You're the night you made my day. Love you, big fella. Oh God. What I would suggest is, if you're in a situation like this and you're going to be talking with people that are going to have objections towards you, the number one thing that I would recommend above anything else would be to constantly stay in a state of curiosity. Ask more questions, flood them with questions to put doubt into their mind of what their own decisions, their decisions are about their future, right? So instead of just saying, well, I can get you more, right? You say, help me understand what it's going to do for you if you get this price. Why is this price important to you? Is price or timing more important to you? What services would you like? Do you want quick and dirty, or do you want it done, or do you want it professionally, staged, photographed, marketed in the whole 9 yards? Because anyone can use an iPhone to take a photo. Anyone can promise it, but here are my stats and my records. What's more important to you on this? Just constantly hit a barrage of questions to them until they're to the point where they're second-guessing their own decisions before they even met you. And then hit them hard with like the X and Y scenario, because at that point they're going to be more vulnerable mentally and emotionally, because they're going to feel like they made a bad decision or a wrong decision, unless they can justify the shit out of that. And if you're good enough to poke holes in it and create doubt, that's the powerful point of coming up with either the FSBO and or working with the mother-in-law. Now, if the mother-in-law she's a top agent and she's crushing it, and your wife's is your wife and her mother are just best BFFs, yeah, you're not getting around that. You're dead in the water. Hang up the phone, forget the number, you're gone. FSBOs, they haven't figured out how hard this is because they watch Bravo TV and they're like, oh my God, so and so sold their home all on their own. Bitch, that shit is staged. You have got to inform them on that. Like, just walk them through that stuff. Like, have you talked to a friend who sold and it didn't go well? Well, yeah, we've had friends that didn't sell their homes. How did that put them back on their time plan? Did they get less money? Was it more of a hassle to them? Did they have to take holidays and sick days to go show the property? Did they know the right paperwork so they didn't get sued or they don't get taken advantage of by a shark buyer agent that they'll cut you off at your knees because you didn't know what you were signing? I mean, question.
Interesting.
And then see where they go with it. Terry always says that. The Grandmaster, T. Diddy, me papa. He always says, state of curiosity. Always be curious. Always be scribbling, writing, inquiring.
I was going to say, I could see your dad being able to pull that off because your dad doesn't come off confrontational. Like, your dad could ask them what somebody else would make it sound like a douchey question. He could ask them and come across as completely genuinely curious. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Did you have to take like some sick days off to show the home? Like, I bet that was pretty inconvenient. Like and somebody else would go, oh, I bet you had to take some sick days off. Boy, aren't you an idiot?
Yeah. Or, you're going to take vacation days off? Man, that must suck for you and your family, huh?
Exactly. Man, I bet your wife hates you. Yeah, I just feel like if you're gonna chase that strategy down, the planting the seeds of doubt and making them question their previous decision making, because mostly what works in sales is to confirm their previous and just understand what their previous decisions are and make them feel good about the decisions, and just give them just present yourself in that same line.
Well,
right?
with that in mind, Matt, let's run down that really quickly. You have 3 phenomenal questions that I love when you run through the questions, because it gets the people's brains moving. So go through those questions. So let's do this thing.
And this is not mine. This is from Joel Rico. Yeah, so this is about what's important to them.
So reaffirm their thoughts and then go into the questions.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys really need to get into that 4-bed, 3-bath house. You've got to have that extra office. Like, what's important about that for you?
And that's the question.
And then you get them to talk, and then that's the first question. So you restate, go into the first question, and then the second question is, what's that going to do for you? Well, it's going to do this, X, Y, and Z. Let them talk. And then the last question, if you do it right and you've let them talk and you're on the right track, then you go, okay, so do you want to do X, Y, and Z? What's that? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for you and your family? Oh, well, if I can do X, Y, and Z, it's going to mean this, and we get to do this, and no more arguments over the shared bathroom from the teenage girls, and you just get them to go down the rabbit hole with you. The interesting thing that I've been studying and reading and talking to other people and talking to clients about is the better we can restate and reframe their frustration, the more they feel like we are naturally the ones that have the solution. Just psychologically, that's the assumption. If we can restate and reframe the problem in a way that nobody else does, in a way that shows that we better understand the problem or have a fresh take and a unique spin on it, they're going to assume we have the problem, right? So somebody comes to Gene and says, look, I want to get more exposure for my business. And Gene goes, yeah, I bet you wake up every morning, you're not sure quite what to post. Yeah. I bet you'd love to take every listing you have and blast it all over the place, but you don't have time. You don't have an assistant to do it for you. Frick, yeah. Right. So you just you lead them down that set of questions and you go, okay, holy cow, Gene knows exactly what I'm going through. He's got to have this. Where do I send my check, Gene? How do I pay you? Take my money. Anyway, that's the way it's supposed to work. So the more and the better we can restate and reframe and reposition their frustration, the more they're going to assume we have the answer. So that's why I asked you about like kind of getting them to doubt things. That's what those 3 questions help do, is just show that you really understand their frustration and what they're going through, and you understand what it means for them if you solve it.
I just like making them feel stupid.
That was my rant. Aaron, shut up.
Well, you know what? You know what though? That's, I think the biggest part of that whole thing, and the simplest faction of that, is that you're listening. When you reiterate what I just said to you, I know you heard what I said, right? And so that makes it feel important a little bit too.
That's the lowest possible level of that. Yes, that's the Mike theory. Well, what I hear you saying, Gene, is
but if you're good at that though, but if you're good at that spin, people who aren't into that element of the sales game, subconsciously with feeling, it makes you think that this guy's listening to me. I like him.
Okay,
I mean, look. You could do that same thing and come off salesy to me, and I won't like you. You have to get out. Like, if you come off salesy and you say the same thing as somebody who's genuine, right?
So this is one of the things that I do on a consistent basis. I do use the Mike Ferry thing. So help me understand. This is what you're telling me is blank, right? But I put a different different spin on it. I say, all right, now I hope I didn't. Matt, this is what you're saying, right? Help me understand what you're saying. I might have gotten it wrong, but this is what I'm hearing. And then I add a little more meat to that bone, and I make myself vulnerable to not understanding them 100%. So they have the ability from an authority standpoint, psychologically, to correct me, and I gave them the right to do that. Even though I know what the fuck they're saying, I still give them the right to shoot me down. And I know at that point, if they're gonna change their narrative, well then I'm gonna catch them in a lie and snare them up. Because if they said a bunch of stuff, I'd be like, oh well, if you said you needed this, but well, what about this part of the conversation? What does that mean? Oh, well, that's not what I meant. Well, okay, let me restart. It's like, no, homie, we got you. You lied. We know what you need. Let's just figure out where we need to go. Kind of like when a girlfriend catches a boyfriend and lying his ass off, which, gosh, those guys.
Happened recently?
No, I don't lie to my girlfriend. Thank you very much.
Well, that was
unlike some of us.
I was gonna say. Which end of that are you on, Greg? Are you on the lying end or the finding out that somebody lied to you end?
Neither one. It's just, it's typically people have
pure as the driven snow. Greg,
it is pure the driven snow. As soon as someone takes a leak in the snow, yes, pure as that.
That's right. Exactly. All right, Gene. I know you got a heart out. You've got to run. Donnie says they call this motivational interviewing. Psychologists use this for therapy. Yeah, that would make sense. I think if you go back and read David Sandler's stuff from the 60s and 70s, you realize that it's based on, I think, the famous psychologist William James, and goes back even into Carl Jung. So that makes sense. That some of the really good innovative sales techniques that came out in the 60s and 70s were based on analytical psychology, right? It was applied psychology, taking what we know about human beings from trying to help them in other areas where they're really struggling and applying it to the sales process. Because the sales process is like this process of trying to get somebody to get out of their own damn way, that you can help them get the results they claim they want, but won't get without you. Like, that's what sales is.
Gene, #get exposed.
That's right. How does somebody get exposed to Gene?
Oh, you go to my website, genevolpe.com. My phone number's there. There's a nice little widget to call me. There's a nice little widget to schedule a facha to facha, as they call it, a face-to-face. So, Gene Volpe. Greg, help me with this. GeneVolpe.com. Nicely done, sir.
Thank you. My voice didn't crack once.
Enjoy.
Jane, good to have you, my friend, as always. We'll see you next Friday.
Aaron, I'm still a better bald guy than you.
I will not disagree with that.
That was too easy. I was expecting a big guy.
He's got a glorious facial beard. Aaron just has some catching up to do in the beard department, so we'll get him on that.
Yeah.
True.
I've been told to look like a golden retriever. That's an old golden retriever.
I'm not gonna lie, I like it. It looks good on you. Right,
a couple questions left for
Later,
you.
Gene.
Thanks, Gene. Couple questions left for you, Aaron, before we let you go. We'll go a few more minutes here. This is the question from Julian Addy that somebody put in your group. Does anyone have a recommendation for a good ISA company? So who are you working with these days? You've gone through a few.
Well, I use Alita Sarno's company, ISA Experts. So she's really good. I highly suggest reaching out to her.
Okay. What's been your experience, and why are they good? Like, what makes them?
What I like is they're in the States. they're in the States, which is great. They're located out of the northwest suburbs or the southwest suburbs of Chicago, which is my old hood. And their communication is just phenomenal. From what I've seen from them, they do a really good job of telling you what's going on, sending you the proper information, all that good stuff. So.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, let's talk about script partners, role play partners, all that for just a quick hot second. What's the best place within your kind of world, lead gen, scripts, and objections, to go? And let's talk a little bit about just what makes a good, like if you were to get a script or role play partner for you, Aaron, what would you be looking for?
A really, really attractive woman.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
we're gonna take that snippet and send it to your wife.
Oh, that's fine. She'll love it. You want somebody mainly that's committed, someone that's willing to do it, someone that's going to show up on time, make the phone calls. All right. And I get a lot of this from my coach, Andy Shearer, who's one of the favorite guests on the show as well.
Love Andy. Love me some Andy.
He's good people.
He's good peoples.
Good people. 5 role play partners. In my opinion, you want 2 or 3 that are better than you, so you can learn, and then you want 2 or 3 that are worse than you, so you can teach. But they got to show up. If they don't show up, if they do a no call, no show, boom, you're done. And rotate quarterly.
That's good.
That's interesting. Rotate quarterly. Yeah. So don't plan on them being with you forever. Just plan on it being every once for 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I think we all need to be a little bit more on that side, just understand that people cycle through our world. You're not looking for someone that's going to be in your life for the next 20 years.
Yeah,
exactly. When they're not getting married, you're just dating for a little bit.
Yeah. People are in your life for one of 3 reasons. A season, a reason, or a lifetime. And usually it's on the latter 2. One of the things that I like, and Aaron's going to just want to jump through this video and kill me, but one of the things that I love Red X about is the fact that they have the fact that they have a live role-playing partner. So you can call into Red X if you're a client. You can then tell them, like, what level do you want on objections, easy, medium, or hard. They will record that. Then they will send it to you so that you can hear your tonality, hear your delivery, hear your scripting, hear their rebuttals, so that if you wanted to do a role-play partner, you could call in, and it would be someone completely anonymous, and then just have a conversation with them. Then they'll send it back to you so you can they'll boost you up every single time before you get on the calls. They also will make sure that they give you a positive experience. They'll never tell you to go die, or I'm going to come to your office and kill you and blah, blah, blah. And then so it boosts you up and gets you out, but it also teaches you how to do it. So if you're a Red X customer, it's just something you can do right now. So
kind of like J-Date.
Yeah, it's J-Date. What?
The Jewish dating service.
I know what J-Date is. Does it give you a positive experience the first time you go on? Like, oh my God, the chick that I really like said yes? No, sorry, she's
that would
taken.
be positive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we went that way.
Yeah, that went way off the deep end. Good Lord.
Okay, so yes, Ramon, I am dressed up today, but it's all an illusion because I have my go to my Instagram. And you guys are following me on Instagram. Go to my Instagram. You'll look for this outfit and you'll see what it's party on the top, business on the bottom.
Sure. Yeah, I just got to reverse that. Yeah. All right, so Aaron, I've got one final question for you. Before we get to that, what's the best way to reach out and connect with you?
Just message me on Facebook. That's it. Shoot me a Facebook message. I'll always get back to you if you need anything. It's Aaron, Aaron, and just type in WITT, and then you'll figure out the rest.
Yeah. Or just go to Lead Gen Scripts and Objections to find you there. You're active in your group.
Or come to my house.
No, that too. Yeah.
Don't come to my
house. I'm gonna fly out there and drop off C's candy to you.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Thank you, Matt.
Just exactly why I will never do it, because it's nice. All right. Greg, nice. What's the best way to connect with you? Yeah, I can't be caught doing something nice. I got a reputation up here.
That's void of contract if you have to do something nice. You know how the attorneys get. You cannot be nice. Exactly. Guys, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Let's talk about EXP. Let's talk about how it's exploding and what we're doing for our team members. We're bringing new team members on at least once a week right now, and we would like to see you guys be a part of our family because of the value add we give you. We want to see you guys work smarter, not harder. Look, EXP is going to pay you 3 different ways. Your commissions, when you go to 100%, you got a much lower cap than KW, and you're also going to have your passive income. I had to throw that in for Aaron.
I know you did. It's okay.
A little jab. And then, of course, your stock program, guys. So go to bookmcdaniel.com, book some time with me immediately, and let's make this happen. Matt, how can people love, rate, and subscribe to our beautiful, wonderful, incredible, charming, uplifting show?
Yes. Well, you can find Real Estate Uncensored wherever fine podcasts are consumed. Wherever you consume audio, fine audio and podcasts are consumed.
Not like
the
plastic
best way to
bottle.
leave us a review is to go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes if you're on the computer or on your phone, and leave us a rating there. If you like a particular guest episode like Aaron's, make sure to give Aaron a shout out in the review. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And then, of course, if you have questions, make sure to reach out to us. Facebook Messenger, same way for us, probably the best way to reach us in between the show. If you have questions, definitely pop them over to us in Messenger, because we're always looking for fun questions to answer on the show. And let's close out with this, Aaron.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, this is from Colin. It's in your group. It says, honest question. Why call expired listings? Isn't there usually a good reason it didn't sell, or we just assume the last agent sucked?
I'm going to assume a combination of both. It's crazy.
There is a good reason, and the agent sucked. Yeah.
No, it's either people are crazy, which is about 50% of my clientele, or the agent really sucked, or predominantly was overpriced. That's really what it comes down to. So if you could share with them why the price is so high, and you could get that price down to where it should be, you'll have a hell of a good opportunity of selling the property.
Right. All right, makes sense. That is the skill set. Yeah. I was just talking with Greg Harrelson the other day. He said the difference between most people and what they consider dead leads is a skill set. He says whenever an agent comes to me and says, I can't find any, like these aren't good leads, I can't get an appointment, like in the old, he would call through that same list of people and come out with a listing appointment. So it's all about just getting that. In terms of like getting expired listings, it's a skill set issue.
I agree with him 100%.
So basically what's saying, he's got to practice a lot more. Get out there and hone your skill set. You guys, that's one of the things I think we need to hammer on really quick before we get out of here, is the fact that, like, it's not going to come easily to you. When you watch Aaron do his calls, or if you watch me do my calls, or if you watch anyone else do their calls, look, we've all been doing it for a long period of time. We've gotten our butts handed to us more often than not. We've had way more rejection than we see success. I mean, the scales tip. Those who get that's called a mute button.
I didn't know I had one.
Just cock blocking me on my rant.
I'm about to start using it on you if you're going to sneeze during the show all the time. I'm going to activate the mute button. All right, back to you, Greg, with the skills.
Just, guys, go out there and you have to hone your skills. You have to practice a lot. Your failure rate is going to be substantial. But those who fail more often than not will succeed more often than not. You have to never stop. So someone's rude to you. Aaron, do you stop when someone's rude to you, or you're like, whatever, fuck him, fuck her?
I don't care. If someone asks me that question, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter, man. It's just business, bro. Just make it happen. So that's my thing. You gotta have like elephant skin. I mean, like shit ain't gonna get in. You just bounces off you and keep moving. There it is.
What he said.
What he said.
That's right. That's a great place to end the show. Ditto.
I concur.
All right, guys. We are out of here. We appreciate you guys. Aaron, thank you for coming on, man. It's been way too long. We're going to have to get your baldness on here. Guys, start the trend of hashtag his baldness. And we'll get him on again. But I love you, brother. It's always fun. Matt, I think we need a bow color. Do it quickly, because we can't be delayed here. We cannot be delayed.
All right. Go with salmon.
Salmon. I love salmon, otherwise known as pink. But I'll do salmon. All right, guys, we love you. Have a beautiful, blessed, incredible end of December. We'll do a couple more shows. Share this show, and just always know we're doing it for you guys. Until the next show, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.